Or just let it, the stuff I just cut it yesterday. Yep. So whenever we're ready. Good morning, everyone. We're so happy to have you here today. Welcome to All Souls, where you're welcome. Wherever you came from, wherever you're going, you're welcome here. Whatever your belief is, whatever it's not, you're welcome here. We're so happy to have you here today. My name is Nejla, and I'm the service coordinator today, where our mission is to seek truth, practice love, and celebrate life. And now for a few announcements here. They're on your insert. Next Sunday, June 29th, please bring a flower to share at our flower communion. We look forward to celebrating this unique UU tradition. The third annual All Souls Music and Arts Recital will take place at Touchmark at All Saints on Sunday afternoon, August 24th at 3:30. Please contact Carol Flower Joy Hemble for more information or to sign up to perform. And just note, please, that the All Souls Book Discussion Group will not meet in June or July. Is that all the announcements we have to make today? There's more. And as always, make sure that you're signed up for our email blast to hear any other announcements that may come up.
Well, Liz asked me to give you the results of our vote on the House. I'm sure you're all just waiting for that. Well, the final result was, after we got tallied everything up, was that we're keeping the House for now. So, right now there's negotiations in the works for renting it to a nonprofit, so we'll see how that works out. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Alan, the part-time minister. Last Sunday, our speaker, Shaniqua, talked about his slides, and he left us paper copies of them, and so I've put them in this binder, and it will be in the library. And so if anybody wants to take that for a while, but please bring it back. Really some awesome slides on Lakota history. Compliments of Shaniqua.
Thank you. And I just want to remind you that we'll be having a circle discussion after the service, so please stay and we'll talk about the service after coffee and community. Let's see. Here we go, and we're going to start with our prelude. Right. Thank you. And now for our chalice lighting. Alan will come up and help us here. We're going to turn to 437 in the gray hymnal. And I will read the regular script, and you can echo in italics. Let us worship. Let us worship with our eyes and ears and fingertips.
Let us love the world through heart, mind, and body.
We feed our eyes upon the mystery and revelation in the faces of our brothers and sisters.
We seek to know the wistfulness of the very young and the very old, the wistfulness of people in all times of life.
We seek to understand the shyness behind arrogance, the fear behind pride, the tenderness behind clumsy strength, the anguish behind cruelty.
All life flows into what we become. We don't open our eyes to our hands.
Let us worship, not in bowing down, not with closed eyes and stopped ears.
Let us worship with the opening of all the windows of our beings, with all the stretching of our spirits.
Life comes with singing and laughter, with tears and confiding, with a rising wave too great to be held in the mind and heart and body, to those who have fallen in love with life.
Let us worship and let us learn to love.
Thank you. Now we'll go to number 131 in the same hymnal for our first song, Love Will Guide Us. Okay, now we'll turn in our same gray hymnal to number 662 for our first reading. Strange and foolish walls. And I'll read the regular text and you can echo back in the italics. The years of all of us are short, our lives precarious. Yet we find time for bitterness, for petty treason and evasion. Here we are, all of us, all upon this planet, bound together in common destiny. Kindred in this, each lighted by the same precarious, flickering flame of life. How does it happen that we are not kindred in all things else?
How strange and foolish are these walls of separation that divide us.
That was pretty deep. Well, I was hoping my husband would get here in time with the book that I forgot at home. How dare I? Let's see, but it might be that my two kids would be the only kids up here for the story for all ages. There's another. Well, I don't see him coming, so I don't know what should I do? Should we just move on and put me on the spot, Alan? I don't know that I can. I could probably recite some of Reese's favorite bedtime stories, but I don't know. I had a really cute book, and I don't see that Luis is quite here yet. So I do apologize that I forgot the book in my rush out today. So I think we'll just sing the children downstairs. If that's okay. That'll just give the ladies a little extra time to talk about their topic and for some extra joys and concerns. And speak of the... Yes, he's calling. I'm thinking he's here. Too late, though. Now, in this congregation, we have found it helpful to share the ups and downs in our lives by the practice of taking a stone from the bowl, holding it in our hand, warming it, expressing our thoughts of joys and concerns, and then placing that stone in the water so the ripples of the water carry our joys and concerns out into the wider world. I'll begin by taking one. This stone is for my mother, who had to watch all my 4 kids while I was out teaching tax classes in Las Vegas at a national conference. I really feel for her for that whole week, and I hope she knows that how thankful I am.
Hi, I'm Steve. I just have a quick joy about my wife had hip surgery on Tuesday, and she's doing well, other than some pain. And also a little joy that, even though it's windy, no one's been complaining about the wind chill.
Hi, I'm Amy, and I have a big joy that my daughter is home from Rhode Island for 2 weeks. And I have another joy that my last scan or first scan after cancer proved that I am cancer free.
Hi, my name is Dean. I got a joy and a concern. The joy is that I've had the real privilege and honor of knowing my first grade teacher for 73 years. I first met her when I was 5, and I'm 78 now, so if my math is correct, it's been 73 years. She passed away this last Thursday, and it's going to be this Christmas will be the first time in however many years that I don't get a Christmas letter from her, and I'm going to miss that. So my joy is that I've gotten to know her, and the concern is that I won't get those Christmas letters anymore.
Hi, I'm Scott. For those who remember my mini dramas, I had recently lost the mother of one of my dogs. I have 2 dogs at home, and Sweet Pea got run over. And this last week, we decided to go to the dog pound and see what we could see. And we found this little short Staffordshire Terrier. It's 45 pounds, and I swear if that dog ran into you, you'd feel like you got hit by a brick wall. We were having real trouble with the dogs getting along with each other until we figured out that my dog was the one having the problem. He just never been around anyone besides his mother before. So he's learning how to socialize all over again. But they make a good, not team yet, but they really balance each other's talents well. And she just barely fits on my lap.
Now I'll take a final stone for all the joys and concerns that we haven't aired out today. And then we'll take a moment of reflection. Thank you. Now that we've reflected on all of the joys and concerns and everything else, we'll move on to our second song in the same gray hymnal, number 148. Now we'll move on to our second reading here, number 601 in that gray hymnal. When all the people of the world love, then the strong will not overpower the weak. The many will not oppress the few. The wealthy will not mock the poor. The honored will not disdain the humble. The cunning will not deceive the simple. And now it is my great pleasure to invite Isabella Chow and Valeria Wicker to come speak with us and give us a message about the Sioux Falls Multicultural Center. Please welcome them here.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Valeria Wicker, and I'm the program supervisor at the LSS Multicultural Center. And I want to introduce to you Isabella Chow. She is our community engagement coordinator, and she'll say some things about our services and the MCC in general.
Well, thank you guys for having us. We appreciate being here. We're excited to be here. So I will share a little bit about the Multicultural Center. If you have any questions, feel free to ask throughout it. I'll have some papers at the end too for more information if you like that. But I will get started. Okay. Maybe. Okay. My laptop, I can't tell if it's slow or if it's just not working sometimes. Okay. Oh, did it? No. Okay. That's right. This is a little bit about what I'll go over. We have some confusion about our location, so I'll share a little bit of a difference about that. I'll go over our community interpreting services, our workforce development, which includes our employment specialist, our community closet, youth family engagement, our cross-cultural trainings, and of course, our wonderful Festival of Cultures. All right, where are we located? This is one of the most common questions I get. So we are known for our Coliseum, which is the beautiful picture here on the left side. It has a lot of history behind it. It used to be an old theater, and then when the MCC took over, it had a lot of different programmings. And we still do programmings there. We do a lot of community-based events. And so it's a wonderful place where people are feeling welcome, accepted, and it's just overall a great space when you have a large crowd. However, if you're ever trying to get a hold of me or Valeria and just have a meeting with us, we are located actually at the LSS Fishback campus, which is 300 East 6th Street. If anybody remembers the old Killian Community College, that's where it's a great way to tell people where it's at. We are have the best view of the Sioux River too, right next door. So, but yeah, so we always are available to give tours at the Coliseum for anybody who is interested in planning an event there. But you will not find us there unless you tell us, because we have a small staff for that big building, so it's nice to be with the other LSS individuals. All right, I will talk a little bit about our community interpreter services. So right now we have up to 15 different interpreters with a total of 22 languages being able to serve around the Sioux Falls community. And so that picture right there is just a small handful of our interpreters. They had just finished what's called Bridging the Gap, and that is a medical 40-hour training that they learn to get this nationwide standard and know the correct terms for all medical things, and so they're experts. It's a great certificate they have, and they're, like I said, it's recognized throughout the nation, so it's an amazing thing that they are able to do. Last year with interpreting, they got a little over 12,000 hours of within Sioux Falls, just going around interpreting. A lot of it is going to hospitals, clinics, lawyers' offices. So we work a lot with different organizations and businesses to provide those interpreting services. And we are just so thankful to work with the Sioux Falls community because they're awesome. And I talked about Bridging the Gap. I'm sorry, that was the last thing in my PowerPoint, but I got excited about it because it's really cool. Another thing we offer is our workforce development. So we have an amazing workforce specialist. And so what he does is with clients that come in and they're looking for a job. And looking for a job is not always the easiest thing, especially if there's a language barrier and cultural difference. So we have a wonderful guy, his name is Chance, and he works with individuals, no matter who they are, what language they speak, And like I think they had to be in Sioux Falls for at least 5 years plus. We work closely with the Center for New Americans, which they also do the same thing. So they work more with new arrivals finding jobs, while we have people who have been here a little bit longer. But that said, he helps individuals kind of build those resumes, and I think that's one of the hardest things to do. I remember when I was a kid, or starting out my career, I didn't know how to build a resume. Like, I was so lost and confused, and I mean, I grew up here, I know English, but like, that doesn't help me build a resume. So he's helping navigate those barriers and between the languages, and then creating a resume for these English-speaking employers. And with that, he'll take previous employment from wherever they've done, what their skills are, and try to fit them best to what they would do or match with. And a lot of times, especially right now, it's a little bit harder to find a job. So he is constantly working really hard. He's submitting hundreds of applications every day with individuals. And it's a great way for people to feel that security and know that we are with them throughout this journey, and they're not alone. This is a difficult thing, no matter who you are. And so we're excited to be able to walk with them and see an employment. I can't remember how many individuals have gotten employed this last month. Do you know, Valeria? Okay, I was like, I know it's been quite a bit. I think it's like been almost about 10, which is a great number, actually. It doesn't seem like a lot, but for a month, that's actually really, really good. And another thing he'll do is help individuals prep for that interview. Interviews can be very, very scary. If any of you have applied for a job and had that interview, you know, you get nervous and you don't know what to say. And again, bringing back that cultural difference. A lot of people are very blunt, and that's okay. But here, I think in the Midwest, we are not as blunt. We like to hear things a little bit sweeter. So when the interviewee is trying to like practice their interview, we let them know like, hey, maybe this is not what to say. This is things you can talk about, but try not to get into too much detail. So it's a great way to just talk to people and let them be best prepared for their interview. All right. This next thing I want to talk about is one of my favorite things, is our community closet. So it had started out as solely for workforce development clients to come and get clothes for their job or interview. But it has expanded for anybody in the community to come and get clothes as needed. So we have kind of like a by appointment schedule. So individuals come to our front desk, see when the first available appointment is, and usually it's same day. And they are able to get 10 items of clothing absolutely free. We don't ask any questions. We don't create any judgment. Like, we want a place where people can come and get clothes, feel that dignity, and be able to leave with a sense of like pride. And so we are always accepting donations. So especially men's clothes, and then underwear, socks, those are kind of always a thing. So if you guys are ever like, oh, where should I donate clothes? Our career closet is a great way to do it. It would be at our office location at the 300 East 6th Street. Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 is when we accept donations. Or I think 8 to 4 I put on here, because our front desk likes that last hour to like not have to worry about the donations. But I know they still accept it. But yeah, we are so thankful. I have heard so many people feel like have that confidence. And I love, my favorite thing to do throughout the day is I'll walk in there and I'll talk to clients. And as they're picking out clothes, being able to be like, wow, you look amazing in that. You should definitely get that. And it just has that confident booster. And I'm so privileged to be able to talk to everybody and anyone. And so, yeah, this is kind of like my baby. I love the career closet. But, yeah. All right. Another thing we offer is a couple of youth programs. So we are still kind of building, but we have some great youth programs have started. So the end of July, we are going to do our swim lessons. We had done this the years prior. So we offer free swimming lessons for 30 immigrant and or refugee kids. The number of refugee and immigrant kids that end up drowning or do not know how to swim is significant compared to US citizens. And so we want to decrease those statistics and offer these free swim lessons. We are so fortunate, again, going back to my amazing coworker who also is the employment specialist. He's also part-time, like youth engagement. He has got 30 kids just in the last 2 weeks ready for these swim lessons. And when we do this, we offer free swimsuits, towels, and anything else they would need. We offer that transportation because that's one of the main barriers we see with all of our clients. And so it's really cool to see these kids like go from kind of scared of the water to they just want to go and dive right in. This is one of my favorite things we get to do just because it's seeing these kids smile and being able to like take pictures for their parents and send them. The parents are excited for them. It's just a wholesome environment, and I'm so lucky to be a part of this and see like this transition of kids being able to swim. We also have our Human Rights Day. We work with it's called the Human Rights Committee. It's every year on December 10th. We host it at the Coliseum. And so what they do is, so the Human Rights Committee ends up creating a subject of like one of the universal laws of human rights. And we pick which, like a subject, we create, like, how do you describe it? I'm losing my words, I'm so sorry. But it's basically formatting an essay and sending it out to 7th and 8th graders so they can be able to write a small essay and for a chance to win kind of a contest. And it's a great way to motivate these youth to really appreciate and like be passionate about human rights. So if you have any 7th or 8th graders this year, highly recommend. We talk to all middle schoolers, and so some middle schools decide not to do it, unfortunately, but we have a great communication with a lot of different middle schools, and so about majority of them, I would say 80% do offer this to their students as kind of like an extra credit thing, but we want to just let youth know like this is open to anybody. I think they start sending out this in October, if I remember right. But they send it out to the middle schools and they're able to let them know what the essay topic is. This last year, it was some amazing like essays that we got to see. I cannot believe the writing skills of these 7th and 8th graders. It's way better than me as an adult can write, and so it was amazing to see like their passion and their like skills like just put into an essay. And these essays are 250 words, and so being able to like say what you want to say in those like short amount of time, like short amount of essay, that's an amazing skill. So we are so excited to work with that Human Rights Committee and being able to provide that every year on December 10th. No matter if it's a weekend or a weekday, it's always going to be on December 10th because that is Human Rights Day. I also just want to share, last year we did a camp called Outlast. It was a film and visual poetry course we did for specifically Black and Indigenous youth. They talked about the struggles and partnership of being Black and Indigenous and how really they need to be like work together instead of against, because a lot of times in history they pin these two races against each other when in fact they share a lot of the same struggle and like terror and horrible history. But these youth, they were empowered to create a poem all together and then create like a visual video of how they interpreted that poem. And so it was very empowering for that youth. They all had so much fun. They directed it, they wrote it, they filmed it, edit, everything in between. And they turned out so amazing. Unfortunately, I was trying to link it up to this PowerPoint to show you one of the videos, and it just was not letting me. But it was really cool. They weren't too long. They were about 2 minutes long each. But it was a great way to empower these youth and let them know that they can do anything in this world. And the individuals who created Outlast, they actually are big people who have worked in the film industry. One individual, she has worked on movies like Black Panther and other MCC films. The other was he is an indigenous artist and rapper, and so they had amazing people to be able to teach this, and it was really empowering for these youth. All right, I'm going to move on. So we also provide some cultural training at the MCC. And so this is something that we can do at our building, at their offices, or we are able to go to other people or to your location. We offer quite a bit of different options for types of training, and I was not able to put them all on here. And I do have a list in the back if you guys at the end want any flyers about this information. But we have multiple topics such as best practices when working with interpreters, cultural awareness, refugee resettlement, cross-cultural communication, immigration 101, and like I said, and more. There's a flexibility to mix and match these sessions. Valeria and another one of my supervisors, they do typically end up creating these trainings, and they do an amazing job. I have gotten the privilege to see a couple of them, and even though I've seen them the same one maybe 2 or 3 times, I'm going to be honest, I take away something different each time. So as much as I learn a lot from the MCC, I'm still learning to this day all these different ways with these cultural trainings. And I highly recommend, if you want to bring it to either the All Souls or like any business that you guys are, please contact us, because they are very amazing and very impactful. And finally, I just want to talk about the Festival of Cultures. So, if you didn't know, last weekend was our 28th annual Festival of Cultures. And this year, I think, was the biggest year we had. We expanded it. We work with the Levitt at the Falls, and so they are an amazing partner where they help with the production, the staging, sound, all those tech stuff that we are not experts in. And so it's an all-day program where we celebrate cultural diversity and togetherness. And so these are all pictures from this year, actually. We had an amazing photographer, and this is just a small sample of what we got. But we have an all-day fest. So we start, I believe, at 10 in the morning working with the Levitt, and they provide a morning show. They showed off their jam camp this year, which was a great, I think, 2-week camp teaching youth about different music from around the world. So it was a very unique experience, and so they got to showcase what they learned and singing, drumming. It was beautiful. And then we kicked it off as well with our own programming, working with local artists. So I don't know if any of you have heard of Etta and the Vendetta. She's pretty popular in Sioux Falls, but we were so fortunate to have her this year, and she was an amazing starter for our end of things. We had performers from the Burundi drumming group, and they are just now starting to get established in Sioux Falls, and their drumming is very, very powerful, and it has unique traditions. I believe their drumming set all is coming from the same tree, and so it's a very unique experience. It's very heart-pounding when you listen to those drums. And we were also fortunate to have the Nepalese dance group, which showcased traditional Nepali dances this year. And we honestly were so lucky this year. I think the weather was beautiful. There was a lot going on last weekend, as you probably all knew. And so it's great to see everybody downtown supporting all different types of fests. I know Pride was happening, so it was amazing to see individuals from Pride being able to come to Festival of Cultures and vice versa. So it's just a wonderful experience for everybody to feel together and this sense of hope and connection. But yeah, we were super fortunate. And so next year, we will have the same thing. So if you are ever interested, please keep my contact information for any volunteer opportunities for the Festival of Cultures. What else? We have vendors, so if you have a business that you would like to showcase, feel free to contact me. And that is all I have. I have some contact information. We don't have a group picture, so I made one. But I just added myself, Valeria, another one of my supervisors. Her name is Laura Smith-Hill. And then I incorporated Miss Yamima Nicola. She's the supervisor for the interpreter services. So anything interpreting wise, she's going to be the expert. I can answer just very little questions about interpreting services, if I'm being quite honest, but I cheer them on, but I don't know a whole lot. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, I love to hear. That's all. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I
so if you have any questions, please bring them to the circle discussion and they'd be happy to answer them. Well, we are going to move to our offering here. Now we'll read the words to receive the offering. We give these gifts freely. We receive these gifts gratefully. We dedicate these gifts to the work of our congregation, serving human wholeness, caring for our planet, upholding religious freedom, welcoming the stranger, loving one another. Thank you. And remember, half of our offering goes to a nonprofit. I'm not sure which one it is this time. Oh, it goes to the Multicultural Center. Now we'll move on to our third reading, number 562. A lifelong sharing. Love cannot remain by itself. It has no meaning. Love has to be put into action, and that action is service. Whatever form we are, able or disabled, rich or poor, it is not how much we do, but how much love we put in the doing. A lifelong sharing of love with others. That was Mother Teresa. Beautiful. And we'll move on to our third song, number 138, These Things Shall Be. we will extinguish the chalice. How easy was that? The chalice is extinguished, but the light goes on with us out into the world. Well, we'll meet back up here maybe a little sooner since my story for all ages came a little late. So I think maybe we can meet back up here at 11:15 rather than 11:30. 11:10 sounds great. Sounds great. And thank you so much again for your message. A lot of good things to hear about from LSS and the MCC.